great to have you here today. I'm going to show you how to make this cute little hat, and I'm going to have all the different links in the show notes to get the materials and so forth. I'm using an N15 10 millimeter. You're going to need some type of yarn needle, scissors. I use a little ruler, and then your actual yarn. You want a Bernat baby or a Bernat blanket, and I'll have links to be able to get these as well. So just make sure you go to the show notes, and I'll have all kinds of great information. Okay, so how you're going to start this, I'm going to move some of these out of the way. How you're going to start this is just with a sliding knot. And what you're going to do is chain 3. So you've got 3 chains here. And I'm going to explain this to you before I do it. You're going to put 2 single crochet, 2 single crochet. On the other side of this, 2 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet. So let me go ahead. So you've got 1, 2 in that first chain. And then come over here to the next chain. 1, 2. And then on the other side of that tail, do 1, 2. And then back here, do 1 and 2. And what that's done is it's made a circle of 8 single crochet stitches. So that's your first round. Your next round, you're going to do 2 stitches in each one to make it 16. And what you're doing right now is you're just kind of making that flat part of the top of this baby hat. So do 2 in each chain or single crochet stitch. And just keep going all the way around. Okay, so once you've gone all the way around, if you'd like, go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And 16 is where you want to be. I know a lot of people use crochet markers. This fabric is so soft and fluffy. I literally just put a small piece of yarn in between my stitch of a different color to keep my mark. So this will be the very beginning of the next row. We're not going to turn it or anything. We're just going to keep working in the round. So for the next row, you're going to do a single crochet in the next chain or the next single stitch, and then you're going to do 2 in the same. And then you're going to do a single, and then in the next stitch you're going to do 2 single crochet all the way around. Until you get to your blue yarn. Okay, so now that this row is finished, you can see I've met back to the blue yarn. If I stop increasing, then I'm going to end up with a preemie type hat. See, this one still has one of my markers in it. So that's going to be a preemie size. So what I would do at this point is do single crochet. Whoops. See what I forgot to do? I like to keep track of where each row starts. So I'm just going to move my yarn up and do single crochet all the way around. And I'm probably going to have to do at least 4 more, but you'll see after a while it'll start taking that bowl shape. Okay, you can see I've gone around a few more rows. One thing I want to show you is it tends to automatically just turn inside out as you're crocheting. The pretty side is actually on the inside. Now what we're looking for this newborn hat is we want it to be about 4.5 inches. So I still have a couple more rows to go. Okay, so I'm now at 4.5 inches. See? So what I need to do when I fold it in half, you can see it's kind of falling off because we're going in a circle, so it's not exactly the same number of stitches all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 single crochet and then 3 slip stitches, and it should even it out. 1, 2, 3, and then do slip stitch, because slip stitches are shorter. And then that's going to be pretty even. Yep, so there we have it. Now you want to do this pretty decorative edge on your hat. So do a chain 1, and then we're going to do back loop only all the way around the hat. One thing I want to suggest, if you want a bigger hat, after you do the alternating 1 stitch, 2 stitch row, if you want to go in on the next row and then alternate every 3rd stitch, do 2 stitches, every 4th stitch, do 2 stitches, the more frequent your 2 stitches, the bigger the hat will be. But I would only do that on the next row before you do your growth stitches. Okay. Because each of these rows is just making it longer. So here's where you did all of the single, double, single, double. On this next row here, if you wanted to make this hat bigger, so the larger you want it, the more often you're going to add stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then do double, 1, 2, 3, and then do a double, and so forth. But the more frequent you add the stitches, the larger the hat will be. So here we go. I'm just doing the back loop only, and this is this pretty finishing edge. You like that? Just keep going. Now I'm almost here to the very beginning where I did that chain. I'm going to find it right there. Now what I like to do, this is a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. I'm going to finish this off, and then I'm going to find that open chain right here that we did. I'm going to feed this through, and it's almost like a little twist right there. Do you see how that finishes? And then I'm going to tie it off on the inside. So that part of the hat is done. You can either make that the front of the hat or the back of the hat. But anyway, very, very pretty. So you can see this one, I've increased it after that row and made it bigger. Now if you're going to make it bigger this way, you probably need to add a few more rows as well. The next step is you need to make some ears. And the ears are super cute. So for your ears, you're going to start almost the exact same way. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go back into the second loop. 1, 2, and put 2 stitches in it. Then you're going to go back into your first one and put 2 stitches. 1, 2. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So do an extra chain, turn, and then increase by doing 2 in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and then I'm going to cut my yarn long because I'm going to use this yarn to attach it to the cap. Pull that through and then pull it really tight. So there's an ear. And what's different about this ear and the other ear is this one has not been gathered yet. So take your needle, thread that yarn through, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I just kind of wrap it along the bottom of the stitches like this. You see that? All the way to that loop. And then I'm going to pull it. And this chenille does kind of tend to break off at the ends where you cut it. So see, now there's a very pretty ear. I am going to tie it. And then I'll come over here to the hat. And I'll lay my hat down. You can see the pretty cupped part is going to be the front, where you can see the chain stitches on the, or the single crochet stitches on the outside. I'm going to lay it down on the hat where I like it, and then I'm just going to stitch it to the hat. Just wherever I can grab a hold. And just to make sure I like how it looks, I can fold it back up and go back down the other side, just grabbing the different loops. And leave this tail here because we are going to use it. So just keep stitching. Now, do I like it? I think I'm going to put one more stitch. So there's that ear. I'm going to feed this tail to the back. I'm also going to feed this tail to the back. I'm just going to find a hole to push it through. And then I'm going to flip it through. So here are the two. I'm going to tie these. I tie these about 3 times. Now the best practices for finishing this would be to take the yarn needle and the ends and thread it or sew it back through the stitches to help secure it. And you can go as many as you want and then trim it. So you can see that kind of wood away. We're going to do that here. This was the beginning. We'll do that with the beginning. So now you can see we have one ear, and it's so sweet. Now an alternative to these cute little ears would be to make a hat, go online and order these cute little puff balls. Of course, I'll put a link to this as well. It says to take a hairdryer to fluff these up, and the hairdryer actually does work really well. They have elastic hoops, and you'll just take a piece of that same yarn, and I sew it through a couple of times to get those puff balls to attach. Anyway, I sure hope this has been helpful. Check the notes for all the different links, and I can't wait for you to find me on my Facebook channel. I'll put that in the notes as well, and then you can show me all the different hats that you've created. Thanks for joining me. Happy crocheting.